Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. It's been 9 months since the Turnberry, Scotland meeting where the EU and US struck a trade deal, and the European Parliament is now ready to vote on making it happen. At the same time, the EU has been moving ahead with trade deals with South American countries, India, and recently Australia, aiming to diversify and reduce reliance on the US and China. Now, to get the latest and what it all means, we're now joined by Tomáš Zdechovský, a Czech MEP from the European People's Party. Good to have you back on TVP World. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we've had 9 months, tariffs, roller coaster, back and forth, but right now it's in the hands of the European Parliament. Tomáš, today, will the Parliament vote yes on this agreement, or will it be some kind of rejection or amendments?
I hope so that we will find a way, a compromise to have it any agreement, because with agreement it's much more better as without. And I think for European Parliament it's very important to send it the signal to our partners in Washington that we are predictable partner. We want to have a strong relationship, strong transatlantic relationship, and we would like to cooperate much more better than before. Also, the deal, economic deal for us with US is crucial, and it's mean that we would like to have it really close cooperation with our partners and our companies from the other side of Atlantic.
Okay. Now, you represent the European People's Party. That's the largest bloc in the European Parliament. Also, many leaders from that group of politics. But now you mentioned you hope, you mentioned compromise. Now, if I just look at a quote from the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, I think it was just about a day ago, he said he's very anxious about this. He wants this deal put through without any changes. If there were amendments, how would that change the dynamic, you think?
I hope so that there will be not amendments, because we had it a lot of discussion with socialists, Greens, communists, liberals, conservative, and we would like to have it really deal. How is it? But it can happen. We, as a European People's Party, we are leading this discussion, and we hope so that at the end will be the discussion closed, that we can really have it very strong US-European deal. It's mean that it will really bring us much more constantly economic politics between these two parts of the democratic worlds, and it's a very good signal also for the US company that they can invest here much more, and it can be perfect for Poland, Czech Republic, because we are asking for better rules and better cooperation between European Union and US. And atmosphere in European Parliament change every 10 seconds. Also, there is a lot of dynamics, a lot of discussion. During this morning, we started discussion about this deal at 7 o'clock, and it's now continuing. Also, let's see what will be final compromise. But I hope so, and I am trust here to our negotiator from European People's Party.
All right, so we were speaking there with Tomáš Zdechovský of the European People's Party from the Czech Republic. Now, we're just speaking about that imminent vote of the EU-US trade deal. Now, we did have a little technical hitch there. We're going to try to reconnect there, getting the latest there. Now, just in context, the context is that on Thursday today there will be a vote. The European Parliament at last is the final part of this major trade deal between the US and EU, and we'll have to see if that does come to pass. I mean, and we'll, I think, now reconnect to our guest. Tomáš, can you hear me all right?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay,
Sorry for that, but here in the European Parliament is still some technical problem with Wi-Fi. I don't know what's happened.
All right. Well, look, I mean, you mentioned also, which is curious, I mean, I've been at the European Parliament both in Strasbourg and Brussels, and I know that you said it's very dynamic, it changes every few seconds. Now, some would say, and critics would say, that that's also the kind of thing that the U.S. president is like. He also changes his mind. There have been threats about Europe having to adapt and about tech regulation, everything else. How much of a guarantee do we have that the United States, that Donald Trump will not come around and change his mind about something in a few months' time, even after this deal is done?
You have it never guaranteed that President Trump will not change his meaning, but you have guarantee from us, from European country, that if we sign any deal, we will go through and we will really make this deal to the reality. Also, for us, it's really crucial to have it any deal. I think that the war and economic war between us and US doesn't bring any sense for both sides, and I think that it's really a little bit crazy. And I hope so that the administrative of the President Trump understand that current situation is much more worse than have it any deal in the hands. And I think it can be a win-win situation on the both sides.
Okay. What about this asymmetry potentially? I mean, part of this deal apparently includes energy. The EU or EU countries are supposed to buy something along the lines of 750 billion euros worth of energy. That's LNG and gas from the United States. Is that, let's say, for some people not fair? Are they not seeing the broader security and dynamic here? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I see that you know really the internal discussion very well, because for many parties and for many members, this deal it's not fair, and they openly criticize them because they are saying that we have to buy something what costs too much. Also, this is the question: if we would like to continue this discussion with Donald Trump under the pressure that we have something to buy. But another thing is, you see now the situation in the world. Also, most secure partners for us, it's USA. Also, let's see what will happen. But the criticism is coming, and I think that this criticism is right. That this deal must be really as a partner, not under the pressure of US or some lobbyings of US companies, especially what are now dealing the oil and gas and wants to bring oil and gas to the Europe, because Europe is predictable market and Europe is very good market for everyone who wants to deal with someone in this planet.
Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, we kind of hinted on a little bit. I want to ask about energy. I want to ask about Iran for a moment. I know that there's also been delegation meetings, I believe, between the President of the European Parliament, Metsola, and also some Gulf countries about the situation in Hormuz. Right now, give us your take briefly. What is the policy of the European Parliament in terms of Iran right now? I know that in 2023, very much it was voted by the European Parliament non-binding, but to assign the IRGC as a listing on the terrorist list. That only came much later recently. So tell us, what is the position now of the Parliament with Iran?
Our position is very clear for many years. Also, we recognize Irani's militias as a terrorist organization. This is the organization who support terrorism around the world. We know that they are infiltrated in many organizations in European countries. Also, they are involved in many terrorist attacks around the world. We can here mention the terrorist attacks in Israel. Also, they supported Hamas, and this is why we have it very clear position and very good cooperation with Gulf countries. We would like to increase them. I think included Qatar. Qatar now understands that support of Iran, it was a huge mistake, because Iran is now attacking Qatar very strongly, and Qatar see that really it was a little a little bit wrong decision to support them around the world, but Iranian militias are a real problem for us, not only for Israel or for US or they systematically do destabilization of the region, and they are increasing the activities not only in the real world, but they included the cyberspace also. They make a lot of cyber attacks and many infiltration to European infrastructure, and this is why we need to be very strict. But it's mean if we will bring the Iranian militia on the list of terrorist organization, we have to be very strict to the sanction. Also, we have really stopped all European companies to make any deals with Iranian militia or with Iranian army, and I think that really it's very important send it the signal that if Iranian militia has its important role for next government of Iran, and it will have a lot of impact to our cooperation between the European Union and Iran. And in this moment, it's very necessary to send it to our partners in Gulf region a very strong signal that we are together and we are helping each other, not only with the intelligent information,
right,
but in the practical things.
Okay, so giving us the latest there. Thank you so much, Tomáš Zdechovský there, Czech MEP from the European People's Party. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for watching World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for more. Goodbye.